people say like, okay, yeah, you're a foreigner, don't worry about it. They'll understand that, just relax. Just, yeah, your Japanese is good. But that's not how it felt. Okay.
Right. Hey everyone, welcome back to another fantastic, wonderful, maybe stressful episode. We're the hosts. My name is MJ.
My name is Adam.
And on today's episode, everybody, we're going to be talking about Japanese interviews.
As a foreigner.
Oh, that's right, everyone. So me and Adam are on that shushaku katsudo right now. We are looking for a new job, searching all around the place. If you have any leads, tell us right now.
In the comments, please give us links.
But so we've been going through and, looking for a new job. And there's a lot of things that you have to do, a lot of different processes of actually getting a new job. So one big one is, of course, the dreaded interview.
Yes.
Now, no matter what country you're in, no matter what language you're speaking, if it's the same, if it's a different one from what you grew up with, this is a stressful time, stressful situation. This is when you're pretty much interrogated by this company, by these people, even though maybe they don't mean any harm to you
most times.
But the amount of pressure and stress, especially if it's a job you really want, is very, very strong. So we're going to be talking about that because Adam's been going through it. I'm a late bloomer, so I haven't done it yet, but Adam's gone to a few interviews and we're going to hear his experiences because, hey, most of the people watching this are probably, I think, are Japanese. So if you do an interview, you'll be doing it all in Japanese, which is your mother tongue, which should be still stressful.
Stressful, right, yeah.
But not too bad. Mm-hmm. But for us, a different story. So let's hear Adam's story, pry into his emotions and his thoughts.
Might have a little tears in this episode. We'll see. Yeah.
So Adam, how many interviews have you gone through so far?
So far in this run, I've been to interviews in the past, but in this run, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they were all in Japanese.
All Japanese, 100%.
Not a single word of English had left my lips for an hour.
How stressful were they for you?
I think the very first one was the most stressful because I haven't done an interview in Japanese for like that long time where I wouldn't be able to explain what I wanted to explain in English. Because before I was able to, at least there was somebody who spoke English and they would be able to ask me questions in English where I could respond in English.
Right.
But in these ones, they were all in Japanese based on my previous history, working history, and also my what I want to do in the company, why I decided to choose the company.
Yeah, your skills,
my skills, my goals, and everything like that. And it's difficult. It's difficult in English, but it's a lot more difficult when your brain is trying to do 14,000 things at once.
So what was more stressful, do you think? Just the fact that you had to speak in Japanese, or was it sitting down in this interrogation room, in this interview?
I think the biggest part was the fact that in my brain, and based on some of the episodes we've done in the past, talking about interviewing or talking about job hunting in Japan and doing my own research about other people's experiences, my impression of what an interview in Japan is like was like
a scary thing
in my brain.
Big,
and I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna say the right words, I'm not gonna use like "失礼いたします," I'm not gonna bow at the right time, I'm gonna speak in regular informal Japanese because it's so hard to think about how to explain something in Japanese while using polite Japanese.
Right, because that's another level.
That's another level of thinking.
Like you're using so much of your brain muscles to just say it in Japanese, but then on top of that, hey, you got to add an extra like 30% to say
"de gozaimasu"
in the keigo, the polite form.
Right. So there was that pressure. And people say like, okay, yeah, you're a foreigner, don't worry about it. They'll understand that, you're a foreigner, so just relax. Just, your Japanese is good. But that's not how it felt. Okay.
Right.
It doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
It feels like you're in a serious one-on-one conversation with somebody who has like control of your entrance into a company.
Right.
Which is also going to have an impact on your life.
Exactly.
So just thinking about that, stress.
Ooh.
Not even thinking about the stress, just having that stress.
Yeah.
Is one big part that I experienced.
You're almost tested in two fields. You're being interviewed about your skills and if you will match this company, and you're also being interviewed and tested on your Japanese.
Exactly.
Just by speaking.
Exactly.
So,
and I felt like, okay,
that's
stressful. People, when I speak in Japanese, people are like, yeah, your Japanese is fine. Like, you can communicate no problem.
Right.
And I feel the same way. I understand what you're saying. You might not understand what I'm saying.
Not 100%.
But somehow we get the information across.
Exactly.
But, like, going to the interview and realizing that maybe my Japanese skills is all right for daily communication.
Right.
I can
Speaking
go to
friends.
the bank. I can talk on the phone with people. Get some tasks completed in the day.
Yeah. Go to the doctor, make reservations, all this stuff.
I went to City Hall the other day and it was fine.
Yeah.
But for the company side, like, will I be able to respond to an email? Would I be able to speak on the phone with customers?
Yes.
And I guess the whole Keigo part of it, that's a big part of speaking with customers.
Right.
However, it does have a big impact on how you are able to enter the company.
Right.
It's not just on personality and skill set alone.
Oh, no.
Which is how I lived my life for the past 30-something years.
But I mean, that's how we all should be, because that's what makes us and special, our personalities.
Yeah. But it's just that added factor of having to try to show your personality, but also do it in Japanese.
Yeah.
In an interview.
Was there a lot of paperwork that you had to do? Because that's all I'm scared about the most.
The most paperwork was preparing those resumes.
Beforehand. You just give to them.
And there were two of them.
Okay.
There was the Shokureki Shoumeisho and the Keireki Shoumeisho, and they're both like, one is like a simplified version of the other. And I'm like, why don't just have one? And going a little bit off track, but I'm going to bring it back. Having the picture, recently I saw on the news, that's like a topic of discussion, like, is the picture necessary?
Yes.
I'm just thinking, like, can we just have one sheet? Because when I went to the interview, I had to send those documents, but I also had to bring those documents with a photo, and then I printed off these photos, and they cost me like Nissan, and then I handed my resume to the company, and they handed it back.
Okay.
They took a photocopy of it, and I can't use it anymore because it's stuck to the resume.
Oh, okay. And that resume is just for that one company?
One place. Because I wrote like a specific thing about why I want to enter, and they gave it back to me, and I'm just like, now I wasted this one photo that now costs like 500 yen.
Cut it out in the garbage. Paste it on the next one.
Can't I just scan it and put it on like in the digital format and print that?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I was thinking. Like, these interviews require so much, but I feel like it's unnecessary things when the main thing is whether or not I could do the job.
Right. Let's talk about
it. And then
I'm here now. Don't look at that paper.
Yeah, you don't need to. But it goes off the interviewer asking questions about me. Like, the first interview was just verification of my information. Okay. Like, you wrote on your resume, you did this. Tell me a little bit about that.
All right, just going through
the motions. But I'm just like, okay, I did this one interview, and then I gotta wait for the reply, and then I'm gonna do another interview if I get it, and we're gonna talk more about what I did.
Yes.
So yeah, it's stressful, everybody. It's stressful.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about just like the process and what companies want in their employees, because you never really get that response from them. And I'm working with a recruiter, so that's another thing where once the interview's over, then you don't hear from them until they give the response, and that's it.
Right.
Like, there's no explanation, and there's no communication between you and the company. Right.
It's just a cold letter, just yes
like,
or no.
Oh yeah, we didn't choose you, bye, have a good luck. Yeah. Good luck finding a new job. Peace.
And you said you did two more.
I did two more.
Now, in this time of, COVID, Corona.
Yeah.
Were they in person? Were they over
yes.
Video phone? Video conference?
One was in person.
Okay.
One was over video conference.
Yep.
Both of them were on the same day. So I had to go to Shibuya, interview at one company, and now there's these things called telecubes where you can do like little teleworking booths within different areas. They're in stations and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I rented one of those for an hour, and I did my web interview. That one seemed like really interesting, but it seemed like the level of work that was required was too much for my current situation. And also the whole Japanese side of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I did get an email from the company, and they said, like, you have to be communicating between the office and where you're going to be working. So your Japanese isn't, like, up to par with the standards.
It's not an easy thing.
It's not.
Even if you're Japanese going through these motions and doing these interviews. One other thing I forgot to ask about, how many people were interviewing you?
The first one was only one person, and the second time was two guys. One guy was just sitting taking notes.
Yep.
And I was kind of awkward because he didn't say anything. He was just like writing notes down, and I was curious to what he was writing.
Maybe he was drawing you.
Me without my tie on. Because I did forget to wear a tie. It was in my bag.
You think you lose points for that?
I think so, maybe. No. Possibly. Everyone says, no, it was fine. It's like summertime. Cool biz. But
were they wearing ties?
One guy was, the guy who was talking to me wasn't wearing a tie.
You're good.
The other guy was wearing a tie, like a full suit. Probably because of the tie, I didn't get it, but whatever.
No.
Yeah.
You think so?
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
If you forget your tie, and you're a guy, gentleman, you forget your tie to an interview, is that a just cause?
To not
get the job?
Get the job? Probably. My whole plan, because I had to do a couple things. I had to print off my resume, because I don't have a printer at home. And I was going to stand outside of the place where we were supposed to meet, check myself, and put on my tie and go inside.
Yep.
I printed off my resume. I got to the place within like 2 minutes of having to enter.
Yep.
And the guy was already standing in the door, so like not having a tie completely slipped my mind.
Oh.
I went upstairs, did the interview, came downstairs happy as a, I don't know.
Like just the whole situation's over. Like,
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
like I spoke, the guy was laughing, I was laughing, we were having a good time.
Nice.
Shook hands and stuff like that. I get down, put on my shoes, start walking out. It's a little bit raining and cold. I'm like, wow, it feels a little chilly. Let me check the time. I look at my watch. I'm like, oh, man. No tie. And then I was like, yeah, probably not going to get it. And I didn't get it.
I think you maybe didn't get it for other reasons. Hopefully it wasn't just the look and the ties. Because you know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover.
True.
Because you wait until I go in there when they see this long hair
and the mustache.
These puppies ain't going nowhere, everybody.
You accept me for who I am.
And if you can't accept me, then I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Was there anything specifically that really stuck out that was like, oh man, I was sweating so much when they asked about this, or I stumbled really hard here.
Yes.
And they all just gave me like the dog puppy kind of like, huh?
I applied to a company and I was asked whether or not I thought that I would be able to do the work that the company is required, because compared to my previous work history, their selection of things that I would be doing was very formal. It wasn't like fun. It wasn't interesting for people who aren't interested in that. And that was when like all my motivation just drained out of my feet. It just was like, and in my brain I was like, you're right. Like, I did look at your homepage and I did think that, doing this kind of work is not
exactly up your alley.
I want to do for the rest of my working life.
Yeah.
At that moment, I didn't care if I got the job or not. And of course I didn't get the job. But if that ever happens again, like, I don't know how I deal with it.
Dude, no, come on. That was like an omen to be like, yeah, this isn't for you.
For me, yeah.
You are not going to be happy if you get this job.
Right.
Like, it might feel good at the beginning. You might be excited learning about new things.
Right,
and you feel good financially. You feel
stable.
But it's not going to last.
Yeah.
If it's something that you don't like. And that's how when I'm looking right now, just for job searching and stuff. I feel the same way. Like, I found a few, but it's like I step back and be like, as a career thing, this isn't going to last.
Right, yeah.
So I think we're on the same level of like, we want to do something for the rest of our careers that's solid and is a passion of ours.
Yes.
So it's good that they asked you that. And you should have been like, thank you for pointing that out. Good day, sir. You don't even need to shake hands.
I think I'll see myself out.
I mean, they'd probably be happy too because they're like, oh, we got more time for lunch.
Yeah. But then that's the one of the things that I realized while interviewing the 2 times after that.
Yeah.
You get asked these questions. It makes you think about what you're interviewing for. And it makes the process of interviewing in the future a little bit harder.
Oh, okay.
Because the selection process gets a lot smaller, especially for the stuff that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to continue with video editing and video production, but a lot of the companies are going to be Japanese. There's not going to be that international place that I can, get clients from all these other different countries who want to work in Japan. And I won't be working with an international, global kind of group of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is my ideal workplace. I don't even care about what I'm doing at that point. I just want to be in an international environment.
The environment is really important.
Right? And that's just, I'm finding it hard to find that kind of employment area.
Yes.
And, the skills required might be a lot stronger. So it's going to interviews is scary.
Yeah.
But coming out of the interview, realizing that, I don't know, what path am I actually on?
Yeah, yeah.
Is even scarier because then it sets you up in the future for like, what am I going to do?
Dude, it shouldn't be scary. It should be better.
Motivating?
Motivated. To
I
be
guess
like,
so.
at least you know what you don't want, right?
True.
The whole search for what you do want, I feel like it can never end.
It's never going to end.
Yeah. So at least...
But I want it to end because I need money.
Yes, that is definitely like a time limit that we do have that is very stressful to think about. But it's reality. So there might be a time where we might have to settle, which is so sad. Yeah. But that's going to be another episode right there. Settling. Anyways, everyone, that's it for this episode. But just a little insight for everyone of what it feels like to be, us, a Westerner, trying to get a job in Japan, working really hard. And maybe some of you actually know about this. If there's anybody who's worked overseas, who lived overseas and applied for a job in this different language that you're not used to, that you've studied, the pressure is just almost unbearable. But let us know in the comments again. Do you think Adam didn't get the job because he forgot a tie? That's what I want to hear about. But also subscribe to the channel and hit the like button too.
And of course, hit us up on SNS. We got Instagram, we got TikTok, we got a Facebook page as well. And Twitter. Don't forget about Twitter.
Hey, but that's it, everyone. Hope you had a good time, and we'll see you on the next step.